Welcome to the bold analysis. Ladies and gentlemen, there are some three fellows who I understand are very close friends of, I don't know if it's a friend or a relative, of Dennis Itumbi, that has gone to court today to ask the courts to ban Azimio la Umoja protests that have been called by Raila Odinga and the team, and he has sued ODM, Raila, and Uhuru Kenyatta, as if these are the people running the protests. And I really hope, and what is really the puzzle here is, how will the court issue, actually summon the three fellows in court about a protest, and especially Uhuru Kenyatta? Have you seen Uhuru Kenyatta in protest? Have you seen Uhuru Kenyatta calling for protests, but has been enjoined in a court battle? So this is normally a desperate attempt, and it brings up a question of this. Is the protest about legality or the public goodwill? Are the people protesting because it is legal or illegal, or they're doing it, or people are coming out to show political aggression? In political aggression, is it about its legality or no? Because what is the difference between asking courts to stop and asking IG to ban any protest? What is the difference? You know? And what does the law say? I read a report by the UN, because government is just making this, the government just made this move a day after UN also reacted and called on those, over 23 people have been killed in Kenya, have died so far, and called on those responsible for maiming and killing of Kenyans to be responsible and be brought to book. That peaceful assembly is allowed, but within the tenets of its legality, and it is something embraced in the UN Charter, Human Rights Charter. So that reaction has come out clearly, and government have decided that let's go to court. If someone has gone to court, what is the interest of that person? Of course, I know very well that some of these cases are just used. Some of these cases are normally triggered from the office of the IG so that they can find a way government is involved in a litigation and defending government, and through that, perhaps some people are minting some few coins. I know those are sometimes monkey games behind the scenes, just not for even for the merit of the case, but someone is just doing it to create a job for some few lawyers in the IG's office and draw some allowances here and there, and use the budget they have. But the question here is protest legal? It is very true that there is no illegality in protest because it is enshrined in our constitution. The right to assembly is allowed. I don't just know what the court, the audacity of the court, the capacity of the courts to do it, but I want to tell you the game plan. William Ruto is trying to push this to the judiciary, and is trying to put the judiciary in a tight corner. Remember, judiciary stopped the finance bill, and it was against the government. They stopped the finance bill, they suspended the finance bill, they're supposed to, the Martha Koome is supposed to constitute a bench, then the bench is going to give more directions, or rather is going to give a judgment around that, towards that finance bill. Government also lost another case against the CS. So, this case has also been taken there, and probably what William Ruto is trying is this. Can Martha Koome help the situation? Can Martha Koome ban the protest? That exactly. He's just trying to bring Martha Koome in the picture. Can she be in a position to help me stop the protests? That is the bold question that that William Ruto is trying to answer here. And there is something that we need to understand here. The protests are coming after some few other arms of government failed. Budget was largely pushed by the executive, and the executive went to bed with the parliament, or the legislature, and parliament took it, passed the bill. And that was against the chagrin of the people. So, what will happen if they also go to court, and when people are protesting, the court also ridiculously comes and goes against the people? Don't you think that when Azimio la Umoja will come out and tell the public that the courts have stopped our protest, our aggression, political aggression against the bill, the finance bill, while parliament and executive also passed it? So which hope do we have? Which hope do the Kenyan people have? You know, that is, that is the question. So they're putting the courts into a very tight corner, and the tight corner is this way. As things go, I think the judiciary had started to redeem itself using some of the very mistakes that William Ruto has been making. The CAS was a big mistake. The finance bill was an arrogance of the highest level and disregard of the people's positions, or rather people's opinion, and court had been doing the Jesus work. So they're trying to redeem their image, because the picture that has always been created, or what came out after the last general election, is we had a very, very skewed court. So judiciary is trying to redeem its image, and William Ruto is throwing them a test. Are they going to suspend the protest? Probably. And is the protest supposed to be suspended by a judgment somewhere, or a police officer or head of police? Can that stop it? Can the legal interpretation of it stop it, or is it a political process? I am not getting it, but from where I'm seated here, the protest is not a legal question. The court can even say that the protest is illegal. Guys, don't come out of the protest. Raila Odinga should not comment about it. But the next time, you see people coming out and protesting. But Raila is saying people that, look here, we've been told to tell you not to protest, but you can decide to what you do what you want. I must not tell you to protest. But if you feel that things are not good in your end, you can do what you want. That means here, the issue about the political aggression, it's a political process, and it can only be solved with a political solution. Number two, it's an economic problem, and it can only be solved with an economic solution. It is not the legal question. It is not on whether it is legal or illegal, because I don't think people are after that. It is not the first time. The head of police, IG, has maintained, and his stand is very clear, that no protest is allowed in Nairobi, and every protest, no protest is allowed, and protests are illegal because they are not covered by law. Last time, Azimio la Umoja did not notify the police. Let's get it here. They did not notify the police, and police said no protest. We've only given a nod for a political rally. But what changed later? We actually realized that people went out to protest whether Azimio had permission or not. So that is why this route, for me, it does not. It looks like just another corner that is being taken. Number two, William Ruto is looking for some court injunction, not to stop the protest permanently, but it's just a temporary solution. If you ask me, it is just a temporary solution, because court might say, okay, fine, a case has been filed, but before it is decided, we issue the following orders to Azimio la Umoja until this case is decided. Then probably be told, wait, wait for this to be done. Then, but at the end of the day, what happens if the court realizes that? Because the court does not have the jurisdiction of, does not have the power to stop it on the legal grounds. People will just understand it and say, look here, it's not about what the judge is saying. And look at it. Judiciary has been in the bad light with the people. So if judiciary is going to say that we've stopped that mass action, we've banned that mass action on Wednesday, what do you think? Martha Koome is another face of letdown to people who support Raila Odinga. They do believe that William Ruto was given power with Martha Koome, by Martha Koome. So even if Martha Koome is to make that statement, how is it going to convince the people that is fair. To many people, she lost the neutrality. The judiciary lost its neutrality. So the court injunction is just towards some breaks. But two, Ruto is testing. Has Raila Odinga also infiltrated the courts? You know, that's another question. This case is going to test if indeed Raila has infiltrated my circle around me. They're asking a question. Has Raila Odinga also infiltrated the courts? Government has been losing cases. And, you know, narratives about how some judges are being bribed or are supporting the protest or are supporting the aggression have always been coming in the picture. So what President William Ruto is trying here is find out, have they infiltrated? And let's think about it this way. If court says Raila Odinga should not call for mass action, yes, or maybe that mass action is banned by the courts, then the mass action continues. Will the court issue warrant of arrest against Raila Odinga? Will they? So it's a very thin line. Will the courts order a warrant of arrest against Raila Odinga if they say the protest is illegal and people come out to protest? So that's a bit of it. But I'm also looking at as profiling. You know, I'm just trying to imagine the judge. I'm just trying to imagine the judges who are going to give that judgment, if it's in High Court. That High Court judge will be profiled as pro-Azimio, and it will no longer be about the law. Instead of wasting taxpayers' money covering to have some litigation fee that can be used to other things, an interpretation that they want from the court is already in the Constitution. What does the Constitution say? And while we are looking at the public, we are looking at the judiciary. But what does the public court say? I wish that instead of William Ruto going to disturb Martha Koome and the judiciary about this matter, he should actually interrogate and listen to what the intelligence guys are saying. What is the public court saying about it? Are they supporting it? What exactly is the problem? Is it about legality? Because it is not about Raila Odinga. If you ask me, these people that came out, I don't think it's about Raila. So instead of looking for what the courts are going to say, because the courts are going to give an interpretation that probably it is because of this and this, it is because of this and this. But then, what does the public court say? Because that is what matters. To William Ruto, the president who is caring and wants to manage this situation, what matters is not what Martha Koome will say. What matters is what Mwananchi here is going to say. I wish they go to the public court of opinion instead of going to the legal court. Thank you.